But part of what you're trying to balance is how you can do something that is good enough for the purpose that you want. So this is the area that we've modelled. So de la Concordia and Matadepera is the main part of the route. You can see here there is the underpass is modelled, but we're not really interested in the underpass here because the cycle lanes are up above, so it's in there. So this is the area, so a 3D model, and again the balance is how can we do this as quickly as possible. So we could in theory just have white plain buildings, but we wanted to make it a bit more realistic, so we added some color and textures and so on. And then what the model can allow you to do then, once you've got it, is you can start to do things. So if I clear everything, you see here we've got cars, so we've automated. The cars don't respond to the traffic lights because, again, that would have taken longer. We could do that, but it would make it slower and more complex. So the cars don't respond to traffic lights, but they do avoid each other and they avoid other things in the 3D world, and we can change the rate of these. So if I show at this end, if I show you a silly example, we can, if I set the rate of cars to spawn, you'll see we can have a crazy amount of cars appear, and we can change this dynamically. We can do the same for, you'll see some pedestrians. If I find some, oh, they're not. So pedestrians are set to 0 at the moment. So we've got some pedestrians in the scene as well. You'll see them in a second. There we go. So again, we can change these people. So these people just spawn at various locations and they travel. And for the point of this, they're sort of background really, but we can configure this. The point is we can change this in any way quite quickly really. So if I just switch off this and reset, so that's an overview of the model, and hopefully you can recognize it if you know the area. What we can do then is, if we return, what we've added in is this button that now I can no longer fly. Now I'm fixed at the height of a cyclist, about 1.5 meters high. So here, for people who know it, there's a bus stop on de la Concordia, and then here's the existing cycle lanes that are in place. So if I follow these, and you're about to see, when in a second you'll see the virtual reality bike, which we created, I think 4 or 5 years ago. One of the people who was behind the creation of this, Billy, is on the call as well. And so it's the same model you'll see on the VR bike, but we thought it would be more useful and easier for you to see in this format first. So it's exactly the same model, but the VR bike is great for trying to experience it in real life, and it's a bit of fun really. So here's the existing cycle lane, and then I think what people then have to do at the moment is they go on the pavement and they get to here and they look around, and when there's a gap, they travel across and across Gravació and here, and they look away again, wait for a gap, and then travel across, and so on. So here's how it looks at the moment. And then if I sort of travel back, we can then switch on the cycle lanes and experience it again. And again, the point of this is try and do this as quickly as possible. So again, the timing of the rapid project didn't fitted well in a lot of ways with the work in Sabadell. But in the future, you might want to do this any country, and we're talking to cities in the UK about the same challenges, about trying to engage citizens in this. So if I now switch the new cycle lanes on, you might see them flash up here. So in exactly the same model, but now we can see the new cycle lanes. Again, how I think you go across here, again, I can look out for traffic, travel across the painted line, and then here's the bollards where it's segregated. And I can check and travel across. So this is obviously me just pressing a key. But on the VR bike, you actually cycle to move forward and you turn the handlebars to move left and right. So we thought this would be just a useful, you can see it in a more detailed way in this format. And obviously this sort of format fits well for consultations in a COVID world where you can't sort of get together. So if anyone wants to come back to this model later, we'd be happy to come back to it and maybe discuss a certain part of the area. But I think that's where I should hand back to Oriel. Hopefully everyone's got a flavour for a feel for the model.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah, I think it has been very, very clear, and we see well what this is about. Només una rapidíssima traducció.